it on mute? Do you have it on mute?
I
Is it...
don't know where it's. Oh, they're joining. They're joining.
Oh, oh, Mum, welcome to Zoom. You made it.
Oh, my parents are coming in as well. Here we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, Fun Yang. How are you doing?
How is everyone?
Uh, Good. Glad to hear that. Oh, yeah. Melody and I miss you too, Mum.
Hello, mommy, daddy. 你聽唔聽到我啊? Yes, so sorry we can't be with you all today, but we really wanted to catch you. Huh?
I
I
don't,
think
yeah.
they've frozen.
Yeah, yeah. Not doing too badly. Yeah, staying indoors. Yeah, yeah. We haven't had this much time together for years.
Yeah, Mark and I are doing well, yes. And I'm slowly getting used to working from home. And yes, Mom, I'm taking my vitamins.
What was that? Sorry. Uh, yeah, yeah. It is nice weather for England. Yeah, we can't believe it either. Uh, say it.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So, we actually called you.
Because we have some news we want to share.
So, you know how we've been going out for 3 years now, and
And we couldn't have predicted it would be like this, but
we just wanted to tell you that
Mel's pregnant.
we're having a baby. 係啊，有 BB 啊。Yeah, I'm 6 weeks so far.
Yeah, and we thought now would be a good time to tell you all.
I know. I'm feeling all right so far. Yes, finally, Mom. Are you happy now?
Yes, due September.
September. Yes, I've checked my vitamins are safe for me to take.
Uh, yeah, yeah, we're very happy too. It's yeah, 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 yeah. Don't worry. Yes, we've got delivery slots for shopping. Yeah.
Um, no, we haven't decided on a name yet. 得我哋有諗中文名，你唔使擔心啦。Oh, I was just saying that we have thought of some Chinese names. But like I said, we haven't really. Huh?
What do you mean by an English name?
A
name. What do we call her? Katie, Amelia, Ellie, Sophie, Mary, after her grandmother, great aunts, great matriarchs of British heritage. Middle name. Make it strong. Tie up the family. Keep traditions. What do we call her?
What do we call her? Teen Yu Hei Hugh? This name would be hers and only hers. We must consult with specialists, trace the symbolism, and find the deeper meaning. A personal, unique name. It must express her individualism, her beauty, grace, intelligence. Her family name will always be with her, standing proud before it. What do we call her?
Mixed. half, shared, complex, multiracial, ethnically ambiguous,
Confused. Fluid. International. Interracial. Cross-cultural. Split. Indefinite. Whole. Whole.
whole,
What explains her hair? Nose, eyes, complexion?
her voice, accent, attitude, outlook,
Her style, beliefs, tastes, ambition?
her skills, dislikes, rituals, traditions.
We haven't fully decided yet.
On a name.
We want to take our time.
Make sure it's really special.
In fact, we were thinking maybe 2 names.
The same name. An English name and
And a Chinese name. 2 meanings, 2 identities.
2 families, 2 forms, both meaning her.
She will learn to write it both ways.
She'll learn the pronunciation. One you read top to bottom.
One goes left to right. One follows a special order, method, reflective of the world around us.
She can use one for here and one for there.
Or each among different relatives, friends, restaurants, job applications. This one, people here will be able to say.
Use this one and they won't realise that you're also British.
Which she must always prove and be proud of. This one, my Chinese family will love and cherish.
But my British family won't ever properly learn how to say.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Gong.
Gong.
Almost. Gong.
Gong.
Try again. Gong.
Gong.
Yes. Now, hey. A bit like hey, but hey.
Hey.
Really listen. Hey.
Your mouth moves so differently to mine. How do you do that?
I don't know. I grew up listening to Cantonese, so it must just come naturally. I didn't learn it properly until I traveled back to Hong Kong myself.
Your parents didn't teach you.
They spoke to me in Cantonese, but I guess living in the UK, I wanted to reply in English, and I did. We understood each other, but I can't help feeling like I was trying to reject being Chinese or wanting to fit in more at school.
And did your parents mind?
We never really spoke about it, but I think my parents didn't want me to be seen as a foreigner like them. I wasn't enrolled in Chinese school, but I was expected to learn other European languages and do well in things.
I wonder what it would be like for our kid, if we had one.
Our kid.
No pressure.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Just a question.
I don't know. I was bullied at school for being different, and I think a parent will sometimes think that the easiest solution is to take that difference away. It's probably why they let me speak English at home and around the English kids.
I just can't imagine your mother being like that.
What? Not strict. She just wanted to protect me. I don't think she could embrace herself fully. She did have a small community of Chinese friends who I grew up with. We used to hang around the Chinese church and we did some Chinese New Year celebrations, but we knew it was nothing like it was in Hong Kong. But it kept us connected. And that's when we'd use the phrase Gong Hei Fa Choi and sing songs and receive red packets. So go on, try again. Gong Hei.
Gong Hey. Maybe it would help if I knew what it meant exactly. What does it mean?
It literally means something like, may you have a prosperous year, or get rich, or hope you make money.
Nice.
Okay, next one is fa.
Fa.
Good. Now, last one, choi.
Choi.
Again.
Choi.
Okay, now try it all together. Gong hei fa choi.
Gong Hei Fa Choi.
We have a lot of work to do.
You know, I've never been good at learning a language. Hang on. Gong Hei. Gong Hei. I just want to help, you know, and it would be really cool to have Cantonese as a skill, you know?
Okay.
It'd probably make me smarter. Or even I could. Oh, no. I'm so. No, I can't say that.
What?
No, I can't.
What? Come on, what?
No. Oh, I just. I just thought that maybe I could speak to the takeaway guy on the phone or something. But I'm sorry, that's a stereotype, and I don't mean it.
Oh.
I, I just think it would be great to be able to say thank you in a restaurant, or that phrase that ho sec at the end of a meal, or greet your parents. You know, just those little ways I can connect with you.
Well, hopefully you'll learn that there's more to it than a menu or a way to become a better businessman.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of my family, my grandma will also judge you on how you use your chopsticks. So, what can you pick up?
I have been practicing.
Have you? Let's see. I I don't think you're holding them right. Your finger's supposed to be in the middle of it.
Make that look so easy.
It's not that hard.
How am I not doing this?
Oh, because you're weak.
I mean, how old were you when you learnt these? Can you remember?
Who knows? Oh, if we do have a child, they cannot be fussy eaters, otherwise we'll have a serious problem. I wonder if we'll cook more Chinese food. Never be as good as my mom's, though. Oh, when I was growing up, I did not understand English food. Beans on toast. What is that about? I only had those ready foods as a treat if I was lucky.
I guess if we have a child, they'll have more English food growing up than you did.
Yeah, and my parents will not be happy about that. Oh, I'm so glad you're happy with our decision, Mommy Daddy. 我知你問咗我好耐要抱孫。I was just saying to Mark earlier that I also want to teach her about the food we eat
So she feels at home.
when we visit Hong Kong.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the
my
one you love.
favorite.
So, what was that, Mum? Oh, what shall she call you? Oh, well, what do you want? Nanny? she, she is not calling you grandmama.
Layla, mommy, do you want to be called Popo? Okay, 你唔肯定住. She's not sure yet. I guess there's a lot of things that we haven't thought about yet, but we'll get there together.
It's a big, exciting decision. Oh, hey, Mum, what books should we read her? Because we've got The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Paddington Bear, Mog, and oh, but, well, well, you have to show me what books you read to me when we can finally visit again.
Yes, don't worry. We'll visit once the baby is born.
Oh, yes, Joy Geen. Uh, we, we miss you all very much.
Yes, we miss you.
We'll be together again one day in the same room, having proper conversations, face to face.
It feels good to finally tell you about the news. It's been great seeing you all again.
I, uh, I think we have to go now, but we'll talk again soon.
好啦，遲啲再講啦。Bye.
Bye.
Glad that went well.
It was great.
Hiya. I haven't really done one of these before, so I don't really know how to be. Sorry. I'm finding this really weird. Actually, could we do it like this? Fuck! Okay, so that definitely doesn't work. Can you hear me alright? Sorry. People say that I mumble, so I'll try and keep an eye on that. People also say that my accent's a surprise, so surprise! um, Maybe I'll just start there then. So I'm originally from Bonnybridge, which is this wee village halfway between Edinburgh and Glasgow. I liked it there actually, but loads of the kids around me couldn't wait to leave, including my older sister Valerie. I think they all thought it was a shithole, but it was my shithole. Anyway, Valerie and I could not be any more different. At the very first chance, she got the hell out of there. Didn't really help that her way out was on the back of a motorbike of some white dude called Chance. She said it was fate or something, but we all knew that, his real name was Paul. You can't exactly ride off into the sunset with a Paul, though, can you? Apparently, his London dreams never really took off. Had to sell his bike to pay the rent. Which is lucky, really, because Ma was one motorbike selfie to the family WeChat group away from having a heart attack. The whole thing was so dramatic. I get it. Valerie went so off the rails that I think they were just terrified of letting me go. I can get that. It's hard for people, letting go of the ones you love. Anyway, I suppose you could call my parents tiger parents, which is, just that problematic trope. But mine, well, they kind of were. That was kind of hard growing up. I didn't really have a lot of friends, and I didn't have any friends. And it wasn't like I didn't try or anything, because I did. I tried. It's just hard when you're never allowed to kids' houses after school, or parties, or sleepovers, or, outside in general. And listen, I don't want to crap all over my parents or anything, like, because, they escaped the mess of British colonial fuckery to get us here, to give us better lives. So, it's completely natural to want to be super protective of the ones you love. Right? Right. The whole thing kind of backfired on them anyway. Their assimilated British parenting technique didn't exactly work on Valerie. She's in London trying to make it as an actor, for Christ's sake. And yeah, she's the charming one, and the cool one, and the funny one, but she's a 35-year-old woman living in a warehouse share with 9 other 20-something-year-olds, and she's so dysfunctional she eats pasta with mayonnaise. Mayonnaise! It's not even like a pack of ramen, it's mayonnaise. So yeah, you can see why our parents went in a completely different direction parenting me. They didn't know any better. Which is funny, really, because I don't know how to make friends. Do I get lonely? Yeah, I do. It is tough because I don't think I'm a bad person. I just find it really hard to know how to be around other people. Like, I struggle reading people's facial expressions and body language and stuff. And I know that's just a practice thing, and it's not my fault. I haven't had practice. I just feel like I'm in a lose-lose situation because, apparently people don't like it when you stare at them, and that's really not helpful in making friends. So, I just feel so behind, you know? Like, years younger than I actually am, and I have no idea how to catch up. Stunted. And the thing is, right, is that most adults already have like established friendship circles. So it can be really hard to know how to get in with them unless you've got something in common. So that's what this book I'm reading tells me to do, that I should find common interests with people. So I'll learn all about football, because that's just like a massive thing with British people, right? It's the common denominator with the widest group of people. Thing is, football people don't actually like to talk about football, and they really don't like it when you correct them on their football facts. The ones at the pub, they can get really scary and drunk, and I don't know, I kind of felt really uncomfortable there as a woman. So that failed. But I really didn't want to lose hope, so I turned to the internet. You know that Facebook group, Subtle Asian Traits? Well, it's absolutely hilarious and sort of made me feel like I wasn't like totally and utterly and absolutely alone in the world. Anyway, it's mostly like memes and comedy posts and stuff, but I wrote this really long message thinking people will just ignore it. Actually, people can be really, really nice. I didn't realise that so many people felt the exact same way and had been through the exact same experiences and wanted to talk to me about it. I mean, people just never talk about loneliness or feeling like an outcast. But here we all were, just a bunch of outcasts. And then I was like, actually, you know what? We're not outcasts because we're all in this together. So we're incasts. So on that group, I actually met up with someone in real life who was kind of like me, but was probably even more affected by his strict immigrant upbringing. Like, you think I'm awkward? This guy. I mean, at least I'd read some books on how to make friends, even if I didn't have any. This guy was so clueless, he actually made me feel really good about myself. So anyway, we met up loads to practice our conversation and watch people and learn to copy their body language, and it was just really cool. Like, if we were in a film, there'd be like, you know, a learning montage to Eye of the Tiger, and we'd be like strutting down the street with like really cool sunglasses, you know. And just things just kind of snowball from there. We're spending so much time together, we just thought, we might as well live together. It makes sense, right? We were so attached, we might as well have been conjoined. It was wonderful. You know, plus his parents had an 8 p.m. curfew for him for the past 25 years. I was like, that's really going to be affecting our learning curve. You know what the best thing was? It was completely mutual, and I thought, is that what this is like? To have a companion, someone to turn to. You know, someone who really gets me and I totally get them. Just to have someone who you can always trust will be there for you. Do you want to say hi to the camera? Do you want to know what the best thing is? His name's Chance.
What would you say I am? When you look at this face, what do you see? Young, male, handsome? What else? See, I call myself Chinese, but I'm not proper Chinese. Like, it never feels quite right. I mean, besides my skin and some broken Cantonese, I don't really fit. You know, I say Chinese because it's easier. I mean, most people are going to look at me and think Asian anyway, right? You know, especially with those people who want to play the "Where are you from" game. You know the one I mean. They come up to you and say, "Hey, where are you from?" And you know exactly what they mean, but you go ahead and say, "Me? I'm from Birmingham." And then they go ahead and say, "No, where are you really from?" Or, "Where are your parents from?" And you go ahead and tell them, and they say, "Oh, so that's where you're from," like they won some sort of quiz or something. And then they go ahead and tell you a fact about themselves which somehow involves your heritage. Like, why does it matter, you know? It's such a slog having to explain to everybody about my ethnicity or nationality or whatever, you know? Despite the fact I was born here, raised here, studied here, I know as much about British culture as anyone else, yet people make it hard for me to call myself British. Even though I am. You know? I mean, if I do, it always seems like a side note. You know, it's just so confusing. You know, because I grew up in a Chinese takeaway, right? You know, I'd go to school in the morning and come home to mum and dad working in the evening. You know, it's how it was. You know, they practically grew up in poverty, so they came to the UK in search for a better life. You know, it wasn't easy, but it was much better than where they were. Because a lot of Chinese families who came here in the 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, they'd all go to London and work. However, some made the decision to move outside of London to work. If you're the only Chinese takeaway around, you've got no competition. However, that does also mean you're the only Chinese kid where you live. So, yeah, a lot of time spent at the takeaway. Practically working and living there. You know, and as a kid, you know, it's engraved in my brain, you know. But the one thing I never understood about Chinese takeaways is, why do they always have chips on their menu? Like, for a Chinese takeaway, chips aren't very Chinese. I mean, yeah, people order them and they eat them and they like them, but surely you just go to a chippy if you wanted chips, right? Or omelettes. Why are omelettes always on Chinese takeaway menus? I mean, they're easy to make. I mean, they've already got the ingredients for it, might as well put it on the menu, right? But when was the last time you heard of someone actually wanting to order an omelette from a Chinese takeaway? Like, they didn't want fried rice or chow mein or anything else they offered. All they wanted was a plain omelette. And maybe chips. You know, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It would be like going into a chippy and seeing that they were selling aromatic duck with pancakes. No chippy would ever sell that, you know? It would be like seeing an omelette on a Chinese takeaway menu. It doesn't fit the theme, you know? I mean, I guess it's a bit different because omelettes don't really have like a culture behind it, but aromatic duck is a Chinese thing, you know? I mean, and no chippy would ever sell that, not because it's out of place. I mean, it is out of place, but would you trust it? No, I'm not saying white people can't cook Chinese food, but I think a lot of people have this view that it's less authentic when they do, so it doesn't taste as nice, you know? And that's why you never see Chinese people going into a Chinese restaurant run by white people. Sort of like Wagamamas, but for Asian people in general, you know? Because the food doesn't taste as nice. Because why would people want a knockoff when they could have the real authentic thing, you know? I mean, even Chinese takeaways don't serve proper Chinese food, just a dumbed down, anglicized version of it. British born Chinese. That's what I am. Now, it took me years to come to that. You know? Growing up, you have all these Chinese influences, your parents, your language, traditions, beliefs, food, and you think, okay, this is me, this is who I am. And then you go to school for the first day and find out you're the only Asian kid there, and your world just changes. No one knows what you know. You feel left out because of it. You get bullied because of it. You get racism because of it. So what do? You forget all those Chinese influences and you begin to conform to what your friends like and do. You close up any connection you have to being Chinese. You start speaking English all the time. You have fish and chips for tea. You start liking football until slowly you lose all the things that made you you. This goes on for years and years until you slowly hit a point and wonder where your heritage went. You get confused as to who you are. You don't know anyone else who feels the way you're feeling right now. No one at home, no one at school, not even on television. no role model to follow. You know, I used to think that only white people could be superheroes because they were all white. Captain America, Batman, Superman. They eventually had Black Panther. I just wish there was a Chinese superhero, you know? Especially one that didn't know martial arts or was just like me. So you figure it out however you can. This messy journey of trying to find your identity. You know, only now do I realise who I am, and I don't care what people say or do. You know, this is me. Like, who the fuck are you to say who I am? To define my existence? You know, years and years of putting doubt in my head, no more. This is who I am, regardless of whether you accept it or not. I couldn't decide. I'm tired of trying to decide whether I'm British or I'm Chinese. I'm neither. I'm both. I just wish it didn't take that long for me to realise that. You know, it seems we're always rejected in some way or another by whoever for being too much or not enough.
Hi, this is Jessie Lee. I've got an audition for the commercial at 11. Yeah, that's the one. So I'm in the building right now, but kind of stuck in the lift. He said it'd take about 10 minutes to fix it, so would that be okay? Thank you so much. Okay, see you, bye-bye. Bye. Sorry. Annoying, isn't it? Should have walked, really? Oh well. Are you auditioning as well? What's it for? What, for the next season? I love this show. Is it a speaking role? That's amazing. I hope you get it. I auditioned for it last year as well. It was for the waitress in the sushi restaurant scene. I don't know if you've seen that bit. No, that wasn't me because I didn't get it, but it was cool to be seen for it. No, I'm not Japanese. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because no one would have a problem seeing you as a German or Russian. Yeah, so this one's for a VR company. I'm going for this scientist character, giving a briefing on some high-techy stuff. I'm often put up for these kinds of roles, like businesswoman, scientist, smartly dressed, which are like totally opposite of myself in real life. There must be an out of order sign on the doors now, which is kind of strange if you think about it. Because it would just look like a broken lift. It wouldn't look like there's anyone in here. I don't know about you, but this is kind of scary. What happens if the cable snaps? Would it just fall down? Really? Oh, so there's... Oh, no way. I had no idea. but reassuring to know that we will not die. Not today, at least. To be fair, this is the most interesting thing that's happened to me in ages anyway, so sorry, I'm rambling. It's the nerves, I think. Never gets easier, does it? I know, right? Sitting next to people who look like you, dressed up like you, like a bunch of clones, and then walking into a room, should I shake hands or should I not? And why is my face shaking? And then saying good luck to the next person, even though of course you're not actually wishing them good luck. Well, I've done a couple of fringe shows, some short films, mostly student films, but quality stuff. I did a Just Hit commercial last year, was one of the customers in the queue, impatiently waiting, so I'm not doing too bad, I suppose. Shouldn't be complaining, really. Not that I'm complaining, it's just ironic, isn't it? 3 years of training so you can play whatever, and then you're put into this little box, like early 30s, late 20s on a good day, doctor, tourist, illegal immigrant, and that's just how you're defined. And you realize that you're not that special. And there are so many people squeezed in the same box, there's not enough space for you. And how do you fight for your space and not lose your sanity while doing your day job for a minimum wage, worrying your agent might lose faith and drop you one day, and all of your dreams and hopes come to nothing, like you're out of order? For me, the lockdown was a perfect excuse for lack of achievement. You're exempt from failures. Once I auditioned for what felt like my dream role. I could feel my blood run hot reading the script, you know. I thought this might be the breakthrough I've been waiting for, and I could think of millions of reasons why I was the perfect fit for this role. Just couldn't stop picturing myself in it. And on the day, well, it went well enough. The director was lovely. They're always lovely. And as I left the room, I was like, now what? All of a sudden, there was nothing to be excited about. Nothing other than waiting, up in the air. Do you ever get that feeling? When the daydreaming is over? Or you keep daydreaming until it becomes obvious you didn't make it. They didn't even bother to tell me that, which is, fair enough. That's just the way it is, and I'm used to it now, but still it feels unfair to learn it only when they announce the casting. It's like being ghosted and then seeing their new relationship status on Facebook. You spend hours for this 10-minute opportunity, and I can't even count how many times I pulled a ticket to make it to an audition, so I think we do deserve a clear rejection at least. And how long is too long to stay hopeful? When do you stop checking your horoscope to see if it says good news will come today? And more importantly, how do you not get your hopes up? Sorry. Pisces. Oh, messy, overly emotional, unstable, socially awkward. Oh, you're a Pisces as well. Yeah, of course, there are positive traits like creativeness for one. One of the things I used to convince myself that I'm right for this job. I think he said, you will get what you want if you try hard enough. So, very encouraging. I did a tarot reading this morning as well. I love that kind of shit. It's actually quite meditative, It's not so much about fortune telling, it's more about coming into contact with your inner self and listening to your subconscious mind and all that. I got the world. It looks like that's this one. Oh no, I don't always carry them around. I just brought this one with me today as lucky charm. Well, completion, accomplishment, dream come true, a sense of wholeness. See this lady here, she's moving forward but looking behind her at the same time. She's acknowledging everything, but she's not stuck, she's just there, balancing and in control. It also means you just celebrate your journey and whatever you have achieved in the past, because you should be proud of them, however small. And achievements don't always have to do with career, do they? Can't be the only thing that makes you complete. I love my job, but surely my world is bigger than a tiny audition room. I learned to bake the perfect banana bread during the lockdown. That's an achievement, because, when I tried the first time, I nearly burned down the entire house. Maybe I need to make my opinions matter. I'm more than a CV. Life isn't a box created by other people. I'm not a piece of machinery someone else can put an out-of-order sign on it. You know what? I feel a lot better, calmer, and more confident. I don't know how long it'll last, but right now, at this moment, I feel quite good, and that's important. Which is another achievement, because normally it takes way longer to get that sensation, and now the thought of banana bread calms me down. That's something. Thanks for listening. You must have been thinking, for Christ's sake, when's she gonna shut up? Trust me, I'm not a weirdo, I just talk a lot. Uber driver is definitely not a career option for me. Oh, speaking of Uber, yesterday I was going to... Listen. Think they fixed it? Well, good luck.
These days, we watch the 5 p.m. news, where the Ministry of Truth looks to defuse. You stand at the lectern, looking suitably grave, lamenting those people you just couldn't save. You tell us your measures are taking effect. You'll soon have this scourge safely in check. You're ramping up. The supply line's arranged. But the news of the day is your science never changed. These days we wait for your daily brief, your latest brand positive motif. You're socially distanced, projecting gravitas, trying to conceal your hapless callousness. You apologise if workers feel unprotected when they're just desperately trying to stay uninfected. You double on down, when the truth is you faltered. You panicked and backtracked, but your creed never altered. These days we're braced for the rising death toll. But you're still ahead in the latest polls. The 4th column of news trumpets your story, while the broadcast media is a conservatory that bathes you in sunlight, not misery and death, that colludes with your nationalist shibboleth. Your herd immunity was supposed to contain, because your priorities, ironically, remained. And I remember you in those halcyon days, when the Ides of March were a complacent haze. You sniggered, and you smirked, and you shook lots of hands. You holidayed in the country and made grand plans. Your priority was low when it should have been high. But you'd got your big project home and dry. There was something going on far, far away. A little sickness they had in the land of Cathay. But strange Chinese people were not your concern. Compassion is precious and you need to discern. But like golden brown, that thing was heading west, through ages and stages and order of test. But you were locked down in your alphabet soup. The economy your priority, because your mission is recoup. Sage wasn't wise, and nerve tag was gradual. But microbes travel faster and their effect is not casual. Spy-M saw in it the potential for pandemic, but didn't raise alarm for fear of polemic. You missed the cobra when the snake had bitten. The warning letters had long been written. But you thought you were exceptional. Your white Western privilege impregnable. And now the bodies pile up as the system strains under lack of resources for which you won't take the blame. This system, you say, is built on love, but not with face masks or ventilators or goggles or gloves. You lament the deaths of migrant workers, people of colour, your press labelled shirkers, demonised, vilified, stigmatised, minimised, reported, distorted, deported, purported as requiring a hostile environment before acquiring any entitlement that red top rage will roar is detriment, creating a climate that is toxic and feculent, a rage that you will straddle and ride on and thrive on, an imperial dream, a sepia hill we can all die on. But dying is literal now, the reality of these times. No patriot fervour or flag can defeat enzymes. And my friend Robbie sang like an angel and danced like a gazelle. But his health broke down, and that sounded his death knell, dismissed by your commentariat as high risk anyhow. Now he's gasping for air as you fixate on your sacred cow. The economy! The economy! You proudly unveil your new system for immigration. Points-based, to score points, but with no actual foundation. End of free movement is one lockdown you will celebrate, but the honest truth is a position you'll rush to abdicate. The economy. The economy. And Robbie won't sing again, or dance again, or never even listen to his favourite Lloyd Webber. He was expendable. Why didn't you admit it? He couldn't earn, so he lost his ticket, because that's all people are to you. Expendable and replaceable. Disposable when not reusable. Their value rendered negotiable. Supposable as a commodity, but only when employed. But Robbie's soul was worth far more than your desiccated, cadaverous, calcified void. The economy. The economy. And I'd take the worth of any of those workers you deem low skill over your effortless, admittedly consummate ability to kill. Protect the economy. Meanwhile, Mr. Dominic Cummings, the architect of herd immunity, traverses this sceptred isle like Brexit Odysseus on a grand tour of the regions. He's driving 100 miles, 200 miles, 300 miles. Wheels keep on a-rolling up. Do as I say, not as I do, plebs, and blame the metropolitan elite. 400 miles, 500 miles, 600 miles. And you have to admit, day trip to Barnard Castle sounds like a dystopian Enid Blyton story. I think he's acted throughout legally and responsibly and with a great deal of integrity. And get Brexit done. These days we gather for your Sermon on the Mount. At 5 p.m. daily you deliver the count, while your staunchest supporters demand to be let out. We're freedom-loving people, so we need to shout. We'll get there, like we did back in the Blitz. We'll clap once a week and wait for more test kits. You had a plan, but now the science has changed. It's the daily news that from truth you're estranged.
I stand so close, staring out, perched on an edge, wondering, is this the way back to my forgotten home? I can see you, sitting in the dark. What do you see? Eyes following the shape of my face, tracing the broad flatness of my nose, the almond curve to my eye. I've learned to see myself through other people's eyes, a third-party facsimile of what everyone else thinks I should be. When I sit where you are, I seldom see my likeness. What thoughts flicker behind those eyes, following the shape of my face, taking in the broad flatness of my nose, tracing the almond curve of my eye, listening to the Englishness in my voice. 1959. Chairman Mao leaps forward, his wake sweeping many from their mainland homes, the human flotsam and jetsam of a revolution, washing up on the shores of a fragrant island, desperately clinging to the skirts of a tiny British colony. A young woman forces her aching body and swollen ankles to move her pregnant protuberance. Her strength drains with each impatient flick of those in utero feet. She knows her time is imminent. There is no room at the inn, no mean barn or lowly outhouse, just the unloved poverty of a secluded alley. The woman inhales, and with agony exhales, as a baby slides from the fluid warmth of a womb into the cold, harsh reality of life. She holds, with wondrous gaze, this preterm miracle. With gentle, sorrowful purpose she places the newborn on the stairwell of number 9 Austin Avenue in downtown Kowloon. Its concrete is cold and cruel, seeping like a secret virus into her child's underdeveloped bones. Mother and infant share a singular moment, brushing tiny wrinkled hands. Her new mother's care and regret pools at the bottom of her distraught eyes, drizzling remorse onto her baby's face. This young mother abandons her baby in order that it might be found. As a child, I took comfort in that idea. I clung to the belief, this hope that I was not discarded on a dilapidated crate to be the half-hidden centerpiece for a rat's feast. From a distance, peeking from behind a lamppost, my mother watches, breathless, as a stranger absorbs me into the folds of their arms. My mother's slight shoulders crumple. Hugging the shadows on the poor side of the street, nursing her now vacant belly, she limps in the opposite direction, and so we part ways, forever. By placing me on that stairwell, my mother did something incredible. She gave me a life. Not a better life, but a chance to live. Time spent in the Hong Kong orphanage was just shy of a full year. I'm being naughty, running all the way home, skipping up the red front door steps to the wide wooden door that lets mother, father and me through in a single file. Abby! Abby! I don't like my name. It's not me. I have another name, one before my memories. I'm not allowed to use that name. Anger teeters up the steps on 2-inch heels. How dare you run away from me? Don't you ever do that to me again! I jump from the frying pan into the fire. Words tumble from my mouth, tripping over one another like a damaged slinky. Who told you about being adopted? Biting back. The pointillism handprint bleeds through, branding my skin. When the Chinese find out you've been asking questions, they'll kidnap you, drag you back to a communist Chinese commune. Once you're in their clutches, there is no escape. I have no idea what communist China is, but I know I don't want to be dragged back to it, or a commune. With bag, I cycle in and out the dusty lampposts. I'm going to play at a friend's house. Ding dong! Muffled sounds from behind the thick, frosted front door glass. I shout through the letterbox. I'm here to play, like you said. Silence. I walk away. I look up at the window. 2 jack-in-the-box heads disappear. Alone with bag. Biscuits unopened, now broken. The punchline to yet another joke. I mount my bike and pedal away. I close my eyes. We're doing genetics at school. Real daughters share genes with their parents and look like them. Well, at least one of them. All eyes focus on me. They know I'm a lie. It's a sin to lie. When I die, I'm going to burn in hell forever. I don't want to burn forever. That little white lie, aspirated in the interests of British politeness. A Chinese elephant wandering from room to room. My 10 years' ties to a previous life cauterized, compounding the lie. It's not a singular thread that binds me to the East, but an intrigue of red fibers woven into an umbilical cord that leans backwards, reaching out over 2,000 years of history, anchoring me to an as yet undiscovered truth. In the meantime, a little white lie grew. And so did I. Everyone has a stash of important things, hidden away, locked in a wooden box, old tobacco tin, on top of the highest shelf a tiptoe height cannot reach. Pressed between forgotten pages, the flattened beauty of a summer's day, the curling whisper of youth preserved in a locket. These things fade. They break, decay. I have 2 important things. Just 2. A red silk happy coat and a baby passport in an unfamiliar name. A brown, nondescript government issue file. My brief Hong Kong life sandwiched between its covers. A glimpse of what could have been, should have been, and never was. Memories of childhood. Your mother did not want you. Cruel thing to bark at a 4-year-old. A harsh thing to lay in front of a 6-year-old. By the time I am 7, I have lost all my memories of before. I have been evicted and moved on. But a small corner of my soul remains lost in a childhood I never knew I had. It's nothing. Everyone in the office says, "You're just feeling a bit down. We all get days like that." Why the long face? Cheer up, love, it may never happen. Trouble is, it already has happened. You used to be such a happy person, they say. Turn their backs and move away. And crying. I have no idea why. Actually, that's a lie. Realization comes incognito as I sit on top of a double-decker bus. The city speeding on around me, dangling me above the minutiae of daily life. I carry more than dead meat on my shoulders. An aching loss. Another tear. My thoughts frozen in the past. My head and said thoughts supported by the cold glass. The bus stops. Unfreezing my thoughts. People get on and off, taking their right minds with them, but I am out of mine. I'd love to say it's been fun. That I've been used well. That my face wasn't my misfortune. That hatred is just a gloved fist that melts like butter on a hot summer's day. That I'm not insane. This is probably the most lucid and clear-minded that I have ever been. It was beaten into me. It's bad manners to overstay your welcome. And so, I allow the dark, secret, unctuous, treacle-black inner voice to rasp its venomous tongue across the undulating ridges of my brain. I don't dream of red chambers. I've already journeyed to the west. The walls close in. The sky threatens to fall. I stand so close, staring out, perched on an edge, wondering, is this the way back to my forgotten home?